Hey guys, today we're going to do a movie review on Child's Play 2. Now, Child's Play 2 starts off with them having the doll and them remaking the doll as hand. And as they're remaking the doll, the two workers that are at the Child's Play factory, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not 100% sure what it's called. As they're remaking it, the eyes get stuck midair when going into the doll, and he hits it, and this is our first kill. When he hits it, the eyes go down. He smacks it again, holds onto it, and he gets electrocuted and gets flipped outside into the glass. Then it goes to Andy Barclay talking about his dreams about Chucky. You know, I guess they're trying to paint this picture for Andy that Chucky's not real or whatnot. But Andy Barclay knows better. Phil and Joanne, which are foster parents, are the ones that foster him. When they get to the house, Andy is introduced to Kyle. And Kyle is a teenager that has a rebellion side a little bit. Joanne shows him his bedroom. And they're all looking. Andy's looking through toys. Joanne says, "Look in the closet." And the Tommy doll, which is the good guy doll, which is Tommy, falls down and he freaks out a little bit. And then Phil comes in and says, "It's just a doll. It's just a doll." Like, and you know, Phil, I understand Phil's perspective on this, because you know, who's gonna believe that a doll is like walking around killing people? You know, like, who's gonna believe that? You know. But he's a bit of a douche. But it cuts back to Chucky and the assistant of Silverton, which is the owner of the good guy doll. Puts Chucky in his car, drives to the liquor store, and Chucky is now more mobile in this one. So he's calling the orphanage, and says his Uncle Charles is calling for Andy Barclay. She always tells him the address. The guy gets out of the liquor store, his alarm's going off, and Chucky, when he gets in the car, he drives a little bit. Chucky uses a toy gun, which is kind of funny, to make him go to Andy Barclay's new home, where Joanne and Phil have his home, whatever. And Chucky gets him into a parking lot. I don't know what kind of parking lot. It's just a parking lot. And he says, "Bang," and squirts him with water, and, you know, thought it was a joke. So the guy thinks it's a joke, and he puts a bag over his face and ultimately kills his second victim. Chucky walks into the house. Don't know how he gets in the house. I guess they leave the door unlocked. Don't know why. And he smashes the head of the Tommy doll, and takes the Tommy doll and buries it underneath the swing set and says, "Eat dirt, Tommy," which is a great line. It's so funny. And so, was it the next day, they get in trouble. Kyle and Andy both get in trouble for Chucky smashing that statue from the beginning, where she said that statue's been in my generations forever. So, you know, they're doing their laundry. And Joanne and Phil are talking while Andy goes upstairs from the basement while they're doing laundry. And Andy overhears Phil saying that we can't really take care of Andy because he's got emotional issues. Maybe he needs another stable family. The whole doll thing is an issue. So he goes to Chucky, and the doll says, "Hi, I'm Tommy." So, you know, he pauses for a second. So he checks the batteries, see if there's batteries in this doll, you know, just in case. Because he thinks it's the doll is Tommy, not Chucky. Grabs the doll, takes it to him, and says hi. So, you know, so it makes the parents aware that, or the foster parents aware that, oh, he's okay with the doll now. Then it jumps to nighttime, and we got Chucky over Andy's body with a sock in his mouth and he's tied to the bed with jumping ropes, and he starts to do his voodoo ritual. Doesn't work because Kyle comes through the window, and as soon as he takes that sock off, Andy just yells at the top of his lungs that you need to kill Chucky and all this stuff, which gives Phil and Joanne's attention, and they untie Andy, and Andy follows Phil into the kitchen where the basement is, and says, throws the Chucky doll and says, "Now Chucky can't get you." Yeah, that's not true, because the next day he goes to school, and Chucky is now in school with him, and he does, while they're at recess, Chucky is looking through the papers of homework, or I guess homework, I don't know, a thing that they did, and he put "fuck you, bitch" on Andy Barkley's paper, and when the teacher found out, it was pretty bad. You know, she questioned, "Why did you do this?" And he looks at Chucky, which is in the cupboard of the school, in the cupboard in the classroom, and she in her mind, she thinks, oh, he's gonna play with the toys. So she throws Chucky in the closet and locks the door. So Miss Kettlewell, which, you know, she's a teacher that's not a very nice teacher. You got those ones that force your head down on the desk when you're in trouble. I've had one of those teachers. That's not fun at all. She leaves the classroom, and Andy goes to the door for some reason, and then Chucky starts yelling and screaming at Andy, telling him to open the door. And so Andy leaves the classroom. The teacher comes back. This is now our third kill in the film. And she opens the closet door, and she looks through the closet because she thinks Andy is there. Chucky jumps out and uses a basketball pump into her chest. I think that's what that was. And beats her with a ruler by, "You've been very bad, Mrs. Kettlewell," which was really, really good. You know, I enjoyed it a lot. And of course, Andy runs home. I don't know how he remembers where home's at. I understand in the first one where he knows where home's at, but I don't understand in this one where he remembers where home's at, because he's only been there like 2 days, tops. He blames the doll again. Phil, you know, gives him reason that Chucky is at the bottom of the basement, which he is. Don't know how Chucky got there so fast, but he got there fast. And Joanne and Phil are arguing, and Andy can hear it, and Kyle's reassuring Andy, "Hey, it's going to be okay. You know, I've been through foster homes." You get that little moment there where Kyle and Andy have a little talk about, where Kyle talks about, you know, it just makes you stronger the more moves you make, which was a nice thing. And so when everybody goes to sleep, of course he thinks everybody's asleep, Andy decides to get up and get the, I guess, the power knife. Don't know exactly what kind of knife that is. I don't really know. And he goes downstairs to kill Chucky. Unfortunately, before he could kill Chucky, Phil catches him downstairs, and Phil tells Andy to drop the knife. So Andy turns off the knife. He doesn't drop it, but he turns it off. Phil goes downstairs. Chucky, this is his fourth kill, grabs a hook, or I'm going to call it a hook, flips his leg, trips him. He falls through the stairs, and the line that he says is, "How's it hanging, Phil?" And he let go, and Phil dies. And Joanne comes in, sees this, freaks out, and then tells Andy to stay away from him. So now Andy is now going back to the orphanage because Joanne can't handle it now. She obviously blames Andy for Phil's death. And we got the police there. They're questioning Kyle about if anyone's seen whoever saw the accident besides Andy. She looks at the doll. Of course, she takes the doll, throws it in the trash. She's swinging, and she starts scooting, pushing her foot back and forth on the dirt, and she feels something. She pulls the doll, Tommy, out of the dirt, looks at it, and then goes to the trash can and realizes the doll that she put in the trash can is not there anymore. So she goes to Joanne, and Joanne's been killed, been strangled. And now Chucky takes control of Kyle, gets on her back with a knife, makes him go to the orphanage. She pulls the fire alarm to make all the kids to leave the orphanage, except the I guess the owner of the orphanage, or the take care of the orphanage, and Andy. Chucky kills the orphanage lady inside, I guess, the office area, and takes Andy and takes him to the factory where where the doll was originally made. And like I said, this is the inconsistency I don't like. Chucky goes and finishes the voodoo ritual, the Ade Dewey Damala whole rant, and he can't switch bodies with him, and it's because he says he's been in the body too long. So Kyle shows up and gets Chucky off of him, I believe, and they're running through this factory, and a couple things happen. Where the eyes, once again, it's about the eyes, where the eyes going through the doll gets all clogged up, and one of the janitors comes out and tries to fix it, and I believe Chucky scratches him, or not scratches him, but hits him with a knife. He falls down into the area where the eye is, clamps his head, and the eyes go into his socket. So that's I think the 5th kill. And you know, they're still running from Chucky. They go up for some reason they go up I don't know what it's called. It's kind of like I don't know what it's called. But anyway, they climb it, and Chucky climbs with them, and they shut Chucky's hand into a door, or into a door, and he rips off his hand. So he just shoves a knife in his hand and tapes it around, and so I don't know. It's pretty. The last part of this one is a little gruesome. You know, we get where where the melting parts go into place on the Chucky doll, and Chucky gets stuck on it because they push him on him, and it goes back, make it reverse and go and melts Chucky. But Chucky somehow leaves that area and crawls onto a moving board, I'm not sure what it's called, and starts moving towards them, trying to kill him. And then Kyle lifts the lift of the pretty much plastic, and it goes all over Chucky. And then and Chucky's some reason still alive after all this. I mean, I guess he was alive after he was burnt to death. And they shove a hose in his mouth, and his head grows, which I think is kind of stupid, and it blows up. And that's the end of the film. So, like I said, the only thing I didn't like about this film is the inconsistency. The fact that in the TV show, in the Cult of Chucky, they can. Wait a minute, is it the Cult? Yeah, the Cult of Chucky shows where Charles Lee Ray can put multiple souls in multiple Chucky dolls, and even put a soul into a person, and was able to put his soul into the main character of Cult of Chucky that was in the wheelchair. So that's the inconsistency I do not like. 1 minute you can't do it, next minute you can. It's very confusing. I think that's the only thing I like, and I'm going to continue to say this in every movie. I do hate some movies, though. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and follow. Thanks. Have a good day.